Radio check, radio check. Work at work, is it the AO? Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you can join me today, even though it's been pretty late the past few days. Another late stream for me right now. A lot of busy stuff earlier today, which is why I couldn't get back in as I was planning to do. Anyway, it's all good now, at least I'm on stream, right? I was supposed to be playing some generals today, but I figured why not do a different type of general? So I'm switching over to an old game that I haven't touched in a while. This is a Radio General, a unique real-time tactics game that came out in 2016. To put it simply, you're in command of several Canadian units during their campaigns during most of World War II, but instead of the traditional point-and-click adventures that we all know with most real-time tactics and real-time strategy games, you command your units around the map with voice commands. And considering how I speak, you might already know what the problem is going to be. Pretty much worried that, well, the game won't be able to recognize my voice. It's been about, what, 2 years since I last touched this? Here's hoping it actually still can recognize my voice. It's been a while after all. Anyway, is the audio coming in okay? I'm not too sure. We'll probably do a run, try to remember everything else. So let's do the training mission. The very first training mission was the Dieppe raid from 1942. See if it actually works well. See, there's actually a setting here for the game recognizing US English instead of Canadian and probably British English, but it's a bit finicky at times, so I'm still not sure how that's gonna go. Oh yeah, at the start of every mission, and probably in the end of every mission, they give you some unique historical notes related to the mission at hand, as well as a preview what you're gonna expect. Specifically, this one, this particular Royal Post Office telegram usually gives a slight bit of a briefing about the conditions on the maps you're about to get into. Then you can also be given bits and pieces like this propaganda copy, a propaganda leaflet, or headlines relating to important events that happened on the date of your mission, snapshots from actual events during the operations, like these. In some cases, they would also have some sort of footage here for training videos, but they usually don't have it here in the first training missions, so we'll probably check that out later. Anyway, let's get into it then. This is going to be a good refresher too, since I haven't actually touched this in a while. Alright, the overview says... Yes, thank you for noticing. Hang on, I'm not done reading that. Oh yeah, at the start of a mission, the game will ask you if you're going to be using voice or non-voice commands. If we're going to be using... Since we already have the mic, we're going voice. Yeah, that's how you start your missions mostly. First, let's take an overview of what's going to happen. Eastern Front going poorly. Stalin is asking for a second front so he can relieve most of his forces. Canadians are eager to prove the worth of the Canadian army, and so they took part in the daring raid on the French port of Dieppe alongside British American troops. Fortunately, they didn't have any preemptive bombardment, And intel says they were expecting the Germans to be caught with their pants down and their defenses would not be in position. Well, that would make you think that you'll be part of the main landing force, or your main objective actually here is to be part of a raiding unit that landed ahead of the main force and will be disrupting lines from the enemy's rear to provide openings for the first wave of guys that are coming in ashore. Expected strength, battalion strength infantry with up to at least 400 light infantrymen. There's an artillery battery in the area, and there's no tanks to be expected. Any positions would be on chalky cliffs that overlook the beachhead, so there's not much space for the landing troops to make use of. But they expect only low numbers. Dieppe itself will be the focus in the defense, according to intelligence reports, so there's not much to worry about there. And since this is just a training mission, the advice is stay calm, move quickly, and follow your instructions. Your objectives will be to hold Dieppe itself to get 10 points, and then you'll also have to hold Newville on the back, on the left flank of the beach, for an additional 5 points. You got 45 minutes to complete this operation, so get on with it. Main units on the front will include a bunch of infantry from number 3 Commando, and will be receiving gunfire support from United Canadian ship Saskatchewan around 9 minutes into the mission. If things get a little too spicy, number 4 Commando will be ready to assist as a reserve unit. We have no idea where they'll be coming from. For the benefit of those who haven't played this game yet. What else do we have here? Yeah, field manuals. If you're just starting out with a radio journal and you have no idea what you need to look into, there's a field manual on the command table which gives a briefing about both voice commands, the types of units you're in charge in, terrain, and for those with a DLC, air support. Fortunately, I don't have either the resources or the space for a DLC right now, so we're not going to take much note of that. Here's how the individual unit tabs would look like, giving you a snapshot on some of their compositions and a brief explanation of what their roles are. They also provide tactics recommendations, so you have a better idea of how to use them on the battlefield. Then there's also the armaments list, which shows you what kind of weapons they're using when engaged in the field. This is a message log which lists all the messages that come and go between you and HQ and the field troops and messages from the game itself. And here's a timer. You can speed up or slow down the game speed so that if you're not in the mood for real-time command and you're pretty, how shall we say it, pretty anxious about the arrival of enemy troops or friendly reinforcements, you can just push the tab button or click the fast forward button on the timer so that time moves a little faster. And you can also play and pause it so you can make decisions later. And for extra stuff, there's a glass of champagne, which makes you a bit dizzy for some reason. And there's a pipe. Well, for now, let's get into the action already so that we can see how things go. Start mission.
Here's right away, sir. Starting operation.
Alright. Let's do a little camera movement with the WASD keys and use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out of the map. As I said earlier, you are in a different location from your troops and you are far away from them, so you can't really directly command them. This figurine represents Able. It is not a unit itself, however, it can be used to send orders to the unit. Right-click to show its stats, which shows the type of unit it is, its current morale level, how fast it moves, its defense rating. This is usually when you're ordering them to dig in and set defenses up around themselves. The average damage they can cause on enemy units. Let's pause this. Their overall attack range, 1 kilometer is usually equivalent to 1 grid square on the map, and their sight range is 2. So for example, if they're sitting on Hill 2 or Location 2, they can see as close as far as Arkalabatai, which is down here, just 2 grids away. You need to you need to keep this in mind if you're trying to send your units ahead into areas that do not have any reconnaissance units. You have no idea where the enemy is here. But also, if you click the Read More button, it will show you the definition of infantry units that you can also access from the manual. That's a quick access point. Yeah. But yeah, kind of forgot. These units have veterancy levels, which are shown here. Yeah, veterancy marker next to the type marker. Every time your units level up, they get a veterancy point, which you can allocate to increase their specializations for different types of skills. For example, they can get a better sight range, or do more damage, or they can dig in faster when defending. Some of those skills aren't exactly all positive, because sometimes they trade off some of the other benefits that they regularly gain in exchange for benefits to other skills which they usually don't have. For example, they can move faster uphill, but in exchange their morale gets a bit of a debuff most of the time. Alright, for now let's try to use spacebar. The Able is the only you have access for now. Clear? And also, if your mic is all kind of broken and you just want to command your units, you can just right-click and then a list of commands will show up in a semicircle around the unit in question. Alright. They're asking us to inquire on Able's current status since we have no idea where they are, so let's try it now. Able, report status.
Able, at November 9.
Right, now that that's done, we're gonna move their location and the location of the figurine to November 9, since that's where they are. Something like a radar pole shows up when planes are positioned in the actual location of the unit you're trying to contact. They get bonuses for that.
Our landing craft has reached the beaches and we're about to disembark. Wish us luck.
We don't have command of Charlie, by the way.
Got a visual on artillery at location 2.
That's like
Charlie here. Get to a foxhole. Don't move until the barrage lets up.
that's like in a co-op situation that we've commanded by a player too, but for now they're commanded by an AI. Alright, since Able, as you can see, is using their 2-kilometer sight range to detect the presence of an artillery unit that's currently bombarding Charlie on approach to Neoville. Since we know where the enemies are, we can order Able to engage them over here, so let's try it now. Able, move to location 2.
Able here. Roger. Moving to location 2.
By the way, these markers, as well as these status symbols, are only for demonstration purposes. In the actual game modes, they do not show up. So The only thing that can probably keep an eye out would be the ranges for sight and like the range circles for the sight and engagement ranges, as you can see in the note, by the way.
We're engaging an enemy artillery battery. Let's silence those guns.
Yeah, one of the benefits of engaging artillery batteries is that you cannot fire back. As you can clearly see, the morale is also dropping rapidly. With the morale down, we can then engage them directly and inflict damage on their HP. You also have to remember to reposition your models whenever a different box of the a different blue box shows where the current location is, so that they can get their offensive bonuses when needed. Now that we secured location 2, we're gonna...
Distance on the beach is much heavier than expected. We're pinned down. We won't be able to move forward until our tanks have landed. Able here. We're here at location 2. Got eyes on infantry at Aquila Batalla.
Here's the problem. We're gonna be ordering Able to move into Aquila Batalla, but unfortunately the enemy is dug in and well armed. In contrast to our current units, who only have 60% morale. Let's see what happens when they try and engage it. Able, move to location 1.
Able here. Count on us to capture Aquila Batalla.
Yeah, as long as there is no obstruction on the way, they will maintain a straight route. But if there's a bit of a distance between their target location and them, they will take roads. As you can clearly see, our morale is going faster than theirs because they're well entrenched and not taking much damage. Also, you can't exactly see the exchange of fire, but you can hear it over the radio, which gives it a bit more atmosphere. Yep. With 0 morale, they're going to be retreating, and they'll have to regroup somewhere before they can receive any orders from you. In actual games, you can double check via the status command to see where they are. So, Able, report status. Since this is a practice mission, can't really hear the status report right now until they regrouped.
I think that's everyone.
There's this.
Assembled at Mike 9.
Right, well, everybody else have assembled at Mike 9. We can call in the reserves to assist us in taking Aquila Batalla, so... HQ, deploy reserves. HQ, deploy reserve infantry.
HQ, reserve infantry, coming right up. Infantry, company, reporting for duty. We'll be Baker. We're at Carly 11. Infantry, ready for the dirty work.
We'll have to wait for Baker to be in position before we can order them to simultaneously attack the town. As this briefing notes for us.
Baker here, we've arrived at Joel 10.
Able has recovered somewhat. Wait, hang on, let's wait for Baker to get more morale first. Let's tab it up. Oh, that's it. Maximum 80% morale, not exactly helpful. Now let's try simultaneous commands, see if it still works. This is a bit finicky because sometimes the mic doesn't recognize you saying both call signs. and sometimes it goes to a different direction for some reason. Abel, Baker, move to location 1.
Baker here, moving out to Aklabatai. They'll be expecting us.
Alright, looks like they got it at least.
Baker here, got a visual on infantry at Aklabatai. Baker, enemy infantry, hold up in that hotel. Spread out and advance.
Able to report location. The good thing about attacking from multiple angles is that their morale drops faster and the defenses are also significantly weakened. You gotta keep this in mind when engaging a more powerful unit, particularly ones that are entrenched in towns, which get better defensive bonuses.
Enemy infantry company is pulling out.
Everybody's in Aklabatai now.
We need more time.
That's bad for Baker there, with Charlie. Baker, move to Hotel 10.
Baker, alright, heading to Grand Hotel 10.
Abel, dig in.
Boys, it might save your life. Baker, arrived at Hotel 10.
Oh, it's time to begin. Baker, dig in. Baker, dig in.
Baker, grab your shovels, boys. We're digging in.
Alright, well, they're digging in. Let's try to look at some of these units you can get. So you usually get infantry battalions, which are larger infantry units but are slower, scouts, which are faster but are weaker in direct combat, tanks, which are armored and really good at engaging large groups of enemy formations but are really slow, engineers, which are not also good at direct combat but can provide some defensive and offensive bonuses when needed, anti-tank guns, which are, well, very dangerous against armor, artillery, which provides indirect fire support, naval artillery, which is the same but at sea, and snipers, which are infantry that can engage and spot longer and are, well, mostly just for infantry work.
Hope you clocked over enough to keep us alive. HQ.
And here, reinforcements are coming in from the side. Yep, here's the problem. We got armor coming in, we're not exactly on for armor support. So we'll just have to watch as they get here. Fortunately, they got infantry support coming in as well. Panzers are really good at knocking out at reducing morale for troops that are in defensive positions, especially if they don't have anti-tank support. We need to get him out of there. Abel, Baker, retreat! And Baker's ruling out on his own. Yep. Abel, report status. In contact with Abel. Baker, report status. No contact with Baker either. You can expect the worst from this now. Abel, Baker, report status. The last contact we had from Baker is that they were getting slaughtered out there.
All units are to withdraw. Destroyers will provide supporting fire to cover your retreat.
Here comes Saskatchewan. Gonna have to at least do. Gonna have to do something about these armored units. Fox, fire barrage at India 4.
Fox, Roger. Dropping shells on India 4.
This is just token resistance.
Department was on target.
Fox, fire barrage at Juliet 4.
Fox, artillery firing at Juliet 4. Fox, forward observers report that fire mission was successful.
Fox, fire barrage at Kilo 3.
Fox, raining thunder down on Kilo 3.
There are other barrage options, but they're not available in the training
Fox,
mission yet.
that was a hit. Keep those coordinates coming.
Fox, fire barrage at Hotel 3.
Fox, coordinates confirmed. Firing on. Can't wait any longer. It's pulling out. Gotta help those we left behind. Fox, I'm getting reports that did some real damage.
Fox, fire barrage at India 3.
Fox, roger. Dropping shells on India 3.
Oh, that didn't do.
Charlie, you win some, you lose some. This war isn't over yet. HQ, that's a wrap. All units dig in and wait till relief.
That wasn't supposed to be a line for this. At the end of the mission, your surviving units try to send out status reports to let you know that they're still alive.
Artillery battery still operational. Where's our next target?
As you can see from Fox here. Fortunately, none of our objectives were achieved, so we'll just have to move on to the next one and hope it's going to be a better run. Take out the lights. In an actual mission, you can view the replay of what your units and that of your enemies did throughout the duration of the run, and you can also save it for future study. Here are some post-mission notes and shots that you can take a look at related to the mission you just completed. Here are half the Canadians returning to Britain. Yeah, they had a really bad casualty report for the Dieppe raid. I don't remember if it was a third of the units being killed and the other third being turned into POWs, but I think my numbers are off. This part around here is still a bit of a discussion even today, since some people say that the Dieppe raid didn't really offer much for later amphibious landings in Europe and elsewhere, while some others say it was vile and very cruel. But it's up to you to decide, I suppose. Some of the Canadian troops that were left behind and got turned into prisoners of war. A bit of a white lie, apparently. Surviving troops, landing in probably somewhere around Brighton Beach or somewhere a bit further north. Some of these were probably graves made by either the POWs that were left behind, or probably some of the locals, or maybe even the Germans. As you can see, the picture was taken after France was liberated 2 years later. Here, this is an example of the construction videos, well, historical footage that they include in some of the campaigns for you viewing pleasure. Let's watch this part.
Like all the rest of the Canadian Army, the 1st Army Tank Brigade is going to see these days. For combined ops is the order of the day, and no amount of training can be too great. There must be perfect cooperation with the Navy, and an understanding of the problems facing the men who bring the landing craft to the assault beaches.
Signal flags signaling that amphibious operations are underway. Signal lamps. It's always
approach the beach, the ramps are lowered and the tanks prepare to move ashore.
The
These
LCT
are
means
Churchill, the tanks that landed at Dieppe. In one glorious day of battle, they gained valuable experience that helped make the landings in North Africa successful. Dieppe was a great combined ops proving ground. And remember, Jerry, next time we go to stay.
These number 4s. I was gonna say that some of the hardware they show in these archive footage shots were kind of interesting, like that handheld semaphore lamp, which was not only in use at sea, but also used by aircraft crew to communicate with each other and troops not on the ground, but more like sailors at sea when radio silence was required. Also find kind of fancy seeing the number 4 Churchills out there. Of course, everybody knows what LCTs were, like landing craft tank, mid-sized vessel used for transporting armor and vehicles to the beach. Right, with the ep done, let's go to the training op. Excuse me. Kind of dry in the mouth. Anyway, this is going to be a bit of a training simulation to give you a better understanding of how to command your units and make the most of their capabilities. Aldershot is, by the way, an actual historical training location for British troops and their allies. This is archival footage from when three French officers, I believe. This is the Vendu Regiment while they were training at Aldershot. There's some. This is in Aldershot, I think. They have big mountains in Aldershot that requires this kind of mountain training. I don't remember. For all Canadian, the artillery guys aren't exactly expected to arm Bren guns to defend themselves. This is mostly cross training in the event that they need to firing at infantry at close range. The infamous Ram tank, one of only a couple of armored vehicles developed domestically by the Canadians. Pretty decent design, but apparently it had several shortcomings that kept it from being deployed overseas in larger numbers. Supposed to. Last I remember, some of these guys were converted into kangaroo carriers, or were used as weapons carriers for field guns? I don't remember. Training manual for infantry around the time of the D-Day invasion. Right, this is the Canadian Army drill for infantry training. From sometime around 1943.
You've got to be tough to take the new kind of war, and one of the jobs of the battle wing at CTS is to make the Canadian Army that way. The obstacle course plays its part in getting officers and men into prime condition, and it's no small part either. You can take it or leave it, but you can't leave it. You've just got to take it.
Well, there's a tough one. The rope bridge training under semi-realistic combat conditions. And here's water training with simulated explosions and gunshots, as well as simulated smoke screens. Directly after that, bouncing on wood planks and logs. barbed wire crawl.
Careful now, Joe, or you'll be caught with them down.
Yeah, a lot more for that, but you're gonna have to find the actual archived footage for that, since it's just a short clip that they can fit for the game. Alright, let's get down to business. Yes, please? Okay, this is gonna be a case of your units starting out in areas where you have no idea where they're going. You'll have to reorient them so that they don't get lost anymore. Gonna be expecting an infantry company and a tank squad down there. But the enemy is gonna have some reinforcements in the form of armor somewhere in the crossroads. They just are just not sure where they'll be coming from directly. And this is intel on where your first Baker squad was last seen prior to the start of the training run. So we got we got light infantry scouts and on a Royal Canadian Artillery battery on the ground. Currently, we got anti-tank guns for reserves that we'll be calling later. Our objectives are to hold positions 1 and 2, which means up the hill. Probably 2 towns here. Yes. Location 3 is not listed on your objectives, but it's a good area to keep an eye out so that you can, how shall we say this, have a overwatch that will alert both positions 1 and 2 of coming units. Right, now that we've done a bit of the briefing, let's call an HQ. Commence mission.
HQ here. Affirmative. Moving into position.
Alright. Go.
Princess Patricia, light infantry. Scout, here. You can call us Able. Did someone come find us? Someone dropped the map.
Bit sassy at times, which is kind of funny to be honest. Alright, let's ask them where they are. Able, report status?
Able here. We're lost, but we can see a road 1 kilometer south of us and a hill 1 kilometer northeast of us.
Alright, they said road 1 kilometer south, so it's 1 grid below them, and then a hill 1 kilometer northeast, so somewhere on the right, single grid. That would be somewhere around here near location 3. But we're gonna tell them to move the closest road since that's just a kilometer south. Able, move south.
Able here. Got it. Moving south. Able here. Oh, so that's where we are. We're at Kilo 6.
Right. Since we have an idea where they are, we can give them better directions. This. Oh. Baker's on the ground. We don't have access to them, but it looks of it. Baker, report status. No radio contact. Alright, we'll have to find out where they were last seen. Last location is the road going through the western forest, so... Since the western forest is somewhere around here, we're gonna have to tell Able to go somewhere in the crossroads maybe, so let's say... Able, move to Gulf 4.
Able here. Roger. Moving to Gulf 4.
Alright, let me just read you. Yeah, road going through the western forest, so... somewhere around this general area. Just,
Baker, here.
there you
We
go.
have re-established contact with you thanks to a nearby friendly unit. We're at Foxtrot. Hi.
Right, let's look at their stats for a moment. They are an artillery unit, they're not exactly really fast. 6 kilometers an hour, just like the infantry. They got 10% defense bonus without digging in. They got a good side range of 2 kilometers, but they're gonna need something longer if they want to engage the enemies. Their ammo, but it looks like they can only fire 11 barrages for the duration of the mission. And the barrage has a average damage of 7. The blast radius is a pretty small one at 1 grid square, and each barrage is 5 shells total, so probably potentially 35 up to 35 points of damage per barrage. Not much, to be honest. We'll have to do. Yeah, remember, they're indiscriminate, so if your units are within the firing range of the shells, there's a good chance that they're gonna get hit as well. Able, report status.
Able here. We're at Hotel 4. We're headed to Golf 4.
Yeah, they still haven't reached Gulf 4 yet.
Able here. We're here at Golf HQ here. Intel reports the enemy has captured location 1.
And there's... Able, move to location 1. Able, move to location 1. This is one of the problems with this game. Sometimes they can't recognize your voice. So we'll have to try it slow and safe first. Able, move to location 1. Not happening. Able, move to location 1. Well, if you're kind of been trying that for the last, like, say, 5 minutes and they still aren't listening to you, you can always just right-click on their figurine, hit move to position, and put it at the grid square you want to visit.
Able here. Consider location 1 to be ours.
Just like that.
Here, got eyes on infantry at location 1.
Right. I'm gonna click the tag here. And since they said infantry, that's gonna be bad. I'm just gonna have to select the call sign for the infantry in the area and then click tag enemy. And since they're still at location 1, you don't really need to move them, but you're gonna need to move afterwards if their location is updated so they receive debuffs, in contrast to units receiving buffs. Now...
Able here. We can see alligator at location 1.
And let's unpause. Baker, fire barrage at location 1. If you're not in the mood to click the user mouse to order the barrage, you can always just use the grid squares. That's our first alternative, to be honest. Try it now. Baker, move barrage at Juliet 2.
Baker, here. Artillery firing at Juliet 2.
Good hits, good hits.
Able here. We lost sight of alligator. They were last seen at location 1, heading northeast.
Able, move to Juliet 2.
Oh, it's a direct hit.
Able, move to Juliet 2.
Able here. Stay frosty, everyone. Heading to location 1.
Alligator's probably around Kilo.
Able here. That's the last we'll see of those enemy infantry. Planting the flag at location 1.
Right, they got location 1. Able, move to location 3. Able, move to Lima 5.
Able here. Roger. Moving to location 3.
Alright, it's time to call in the reserves. Deploy reserve anti-tank guns. Deploy reserve anti-tank guns.
HQ here. Deploying reserve anti-tank guns. Royal Canadian anti-tank guns. Reporting for duty. We'll be Charlie. We're at Foxtrot 3. Ready to knock out some Panthers. Able here. We're at Lima 5. We're en route to location.
But after that...
Able here, what's your at location 3?
Yep, they got visual on enemy armor. We're gonna tag that as bear. Right click and
Able here, got a visual on bear at Oscar 7.
we're gonna have to move Charlie to location 2. If they still cannot recognize location 2, we'll have just have to put the grid square in the command. Charlie, move to location 2. They're not listening. Charlie, move to Echo 7.
Charlie here, wheel hold, location 2, for ya.
Charlie's around here, apparently. Yeah, you can use the fast forward option if you're in a bit of a hurry. But I'm not, so just ask what bear is.
Got eyes on bear at Kilo 7, heading west.
Keep an eye out on them.
Able here, lost to Charlie here. Arrived at location 2. Charlie here, we can see bear at Golf 7. Head right for us. Charlie here, lasers approaching down. Here they come.
Baker, commence barrage at Golf 7.
Baker here, raining thunder down on Golf 7.
Warn and keep the fire support coming to keep Charlie avoided.
Baker here, bombardment was on target.
Nice. You gotta put the enemy's figurines in position as well so they get debuffs. Baker, commence barrage on Golf 7.
Baker here, coordinates confirmed. Iron barrage at Golf 7.
Charlie, report status.
Combat against bear at Buckshot 7. Everyone is still combat ready. Baker here. Charlie here. We're pushing back to Panthers. Successful. Charlie here. We can no longer see bear. They were last seen at Gulf 8, heading southeast.
Oh, we gotta cross the river.
Able here. That's right. Run! The war won't last much longer as battles like that. HQ, your time is up and the operation is over. All units sign up.
I heard they're gonna be doing their sign up.
Able here. Still at full strength. Maybe we'll get some action next time. Baker here. Want to get these guns a thorough cleaning after they cool down. Charlie here. We took some losses. We'll need some time to rest.
They did? They didn't! I thought it was that report. Oh well. I think they're talking about the rounds expanded. Whatever. Here's the Axler action report that shows you how much your units managed to score, and how many they lost. Thankfully, because we were handling light units, we didn't actually suffer any casualties. In contrast, Red 4 took 13 out of 100 casualties for infantry and 15 out of 30 casualties for crew. We managed to kill 3, wound 2, wound 8, and cause 2 to go MIA. How somebody gets declared MIA in a training mission is a mystery to me, to be honest. And also, since we were using the artillery, they weren't able to return any fire. And since they only suffered casualties without inflicting any casualties of their own, they only get 30 XP. As for the armor, we actually managed to kill 2, wound 11 in the crew, and get 2 crew members MIA. Probably declared MIA when their tank air coats blew up. Your objectives are listed here. Primary objectives are usually with a red flag, and bonus objectives are somewhere with the crosshairs, if I remember correctly. points you get here are then given to you for distribution and distribution to, or XP distribution to units that to the units that you have and serve in mission, as far as I remember, at least. And I guess you get allotted more reserves if you manage to hold certain objectives until the end of the mission. Here's the aforementioned replay buttons if you want to view how things went, and you can save them for later viewing. Now let's look at how things ran over the mission itself. In the replay mode, you can see some of the other, shall we say, some of the stats are not visible to you in actual gameplay, so yeah. Start mission. Also in the missions by default are at 5 times speed, so you don't have to sit through the entire long run like you did in the actual game itself. Somehow the armor is a bit lower on the attack range. Oh, so that's where they went. Okay, this is funny sometimes because the objective points sometimes don't match up with how the actual objectives went in-game. Strength estimates we're gonna have to look into later. More historical notes, and there's extra footage here if you want to see. Little girls and big guns, you can check that later if you want to play this game. It's available on Steam as far as I know. Let's go back to the main map. Didn't I have a D-Day option? Wait a second. Something doesn't feel right here. There it is. The heck? Doesn't feel right. I'm pretty damn sure I have that completed already. Let me just run some sort of diagnostic first, shall we? I think there's been a bit of a to game syncing. Let's try this again, see if it doesn't mix up data. As far as I know, I already completed the Italy campaign and I'm starting Normandy one. I might have mixed up things. So let's try this again with gusto. Guess I haven't completed this yet. Well, since we've already done some of the training missions, we're gonna go into this one. It's gonna be a bit of a tough one. Later parts of the 1944 Italy campaign. Oh, there's a gas rescue squad. Canadian troops approaching the Malfa River in May 19. Dead Jerry's path of some Cape Breton Highlanders. Taking cover from artillery inbound from Italian lines. Intelligence. This is gonna be a bit of a problem. Indian posting. Let's watch this footage before we actually do the mission.
The business of getting a message back safely is sometimes a bit of a problem. And even in this modern war with its scientific communications, sometimes it's best to resort to the old ways. A pigeon does not break wireless silence. A pigeon doesn't get his map references mixed. A pigeon gets through, come hell or high water. He did at Dieppe. In peacetime, pigeons are raced by pigeon fanciers as a hobby. Today, British pigeons and Canadian fanciers serve in the Canadian Army. And the strange, unerring instinct of the homer is ready to take the place of wireless or DR or the telephone if need be. Swiftly they deliver their message to the home loft. And just by the way, carrier pigeons are too tough to eat. Try a donar instead.
I guess that's a warning about troops trying to get carrier pigeons as better food when the chow is terrible in the chow line. Oh yeah, here's the important part here. At the start of each main mission, you are expected to choose which units you're going to be deploying, as well as which reserves you're going to have in line once the battles start happening. For now, we got another set of Royal 22nd Royal Vandus here. And a bunch of tank support in the back. That's my 5th Royal Vandu unit. I was gonna say 5th Battalion. Oh yeah, on top of the unit type and veterancy, they also get leader personalities, which can affect the stat growth as well as like some of their stat values when in combat. For example, this fresh units of Royal 22nd will have an aggressive leader who provides a 30% damage bonus, but who gets a debuff when trying to dig in on landmarks, which means if you try to order them to dig in a town, they only get like what 60% maximum defensive. As they got their sight range and attack range up, that's not affected right now. Alright, what's the other reinforcement? Another Fort Garry horse? Fort Garry horses do I have already? Right, their leader, in contrast to the Vandu officer up there, is a conservative leader. So he gets a defensive range bonus. No, not defensive. He gets a defensive value bonus. So he gets 50% defense in the open. But his unit's attack range is reduced by a whopping 50%. No, a whopping 0.1 kilometers. What would have been a maximum of a kilometer and a half attack range is reduced to 1 point instead. And here's the problem. It's a long map, multiple bridges, and the towns are on each side. The Italians will probably be trying to retreat from either position end to end. And on top of that, we got forests, a lake, and a big-ass swamp providing cover. So maneuverability will be an issue. Luckily, we have a good set of scouts on deployment. I don't know if I should be using the fresh guys at the front instead of these dragoons. Since the 14th Hussar Scouts already deployed a couple of missions ago when I last played this. Problem is, their popular leader gives a speed debuff, so he's not exactly useful at the long range missions right now. We'll have to make do with veterans then. Yeah, as I was saying, when your units get veterancy, they get skills they get skill points that they can distribute for later use. In this case, the 14 Hussar Scouts already have track and field, which increases their movement speed, and camouflage netting, which increases their camouflage and reduces the enemy's chance of sighting them. Okay? And considering there's a lot of space they can hide in, we'll have to make use of that to put the scout slots here. Meanwhile, they have 2 sets of snipers I can choose. Wait, hang on. Speaking of, yeah, these Royal Winnipeg rifles can sure benefit. Can choose to go from the same line, but that doesn't advance your skill tree, so you'll have to choose from it. Since the best practice is to select skills that sync well with their leader personality, or at least not remove some of the negative traits that he gets from that. So since the leader is a bit of an eager one and his sight range is reduced, you can choose to remove that penalty with the improved binocular skill. That's pretty much the only thing you get, so it just cancels out. You can instead choose to increase the shooting range of the troops. That's only incremental. Or we can give them better defense when they're dug in. Well, the original skill they have is a coverage range, which gives them 15 defense. So I suppose we can just increase their attack range so that they get benefit of early fire when incoming troops are approaching their position. That's confirmed. So we'll have to select a sniper team. They're both experienced, but their skill sets are slightly different, and their commanders more so. For instance, Patricia snipers have excellent camouflage skills, but they lose speed significantly. While the Calgary Highlanders gain movement, but they're not as defensive. And considering we're gonna have to hold the line, I think I'm gonna send in the Prince Patricians for this one. Right, reinforcements come in at first minutes of the mission. Tank company, a bunch of engineers, and we reserve infantry unit background should we require backup. tanks do we have? 2, 5, 6, 7 tank units. 2 of them are elites, 2 of them are vets, and the rest are fresh-faced. We got 2 conservative commanders, tanks, grenadier guards, and 4th Squadron, Fort Gary Horse. That's in. You guys are trigger happy. Not really good at damaging. Gonna need more damage since we're trying. Click enemy. Oh, it's a piranha, huh? So we can either hope to hold this position and get overwhelmed, or just spread out a defensive line after the lake to keep the enemies from getting close. Since they're not expected to hold any position though, maintaining a defensive cordon might be a better idea. Okay, so which army unit should I send in front and center for this one? I guess we can send in the fresh-faced Grenadier Guards. Give them some XP. Make them a bit better after this mission, if they manage to survive. And now we have a choice between reliable Royal Canadian, rugged 1st Field Company engineers, or the timid 2nd Field Squadron engineers. Well, there's not much in terms of landmarks here, so I'm gonna have to go with either the Field Company or Royal Canadian. Morale problem, so yeah, no. I guess we're gonna have to go with the Royal Canadians again. We're already pretty much a decorated unit, as you can see from the Dutch, so. Other problem, reserves. Cautious. These new guys are. We got a lot of new, actually. Highlanders, using some Edwards. The West Nova Scotia. These battalions in the 20s with Bandus. The rest of us isn't exactly gonna. Yeah, I should put, yeah, 3rd Battalion up. Let's just give it a once over, just in case we might have missed something. That's our scouts, and Prince Patricia's being the most experienced troops in the field. Pretty green, Canadian Grenadier Guards coming in at 0100. Royal Canadian Engineers at 0120, and then we call in the 3rd Battalion Royal Vendus if get pressured for defense. I guess we can start here.
14 Hussars Scout, here. You can call us Cable. We're at Sierra. Fine, let's get out there and start surveying. Princess Patricia Cypress, reporting for duty. We'll be Baker. We're at Romeo 7, ready to disrupt enemy lines.
Well, that's enough in dispatch, so we might have to just use the mouse here. This is a problem though. Several panzer units, and we only got 1 armored company. Tunneled infantry too. We're gonna have to move Piranha off the roads. means we're gonna be making mouse traps. So keep them off the roads, have them go through the swamps and around the lake, through the forest. That's gonna reduce their movement speed, but will keep them away from enemy infantry, I suppose. Start mission.
Roger. Mission is a go.
I have to wait until mission starts, actually. Afternoon? Ah, great. 1600. Right, we're gonna have to these guys to
Eagle here. November. 2. It is.
and Baker gonna go Juliet 7.
Grid. Juliet 7.
Let's hope they don't run into anyone.
Got a visual on infantry at Oscar 8.
Checking out his alligator.
Baker, infantry in our sight. 400 meters. Let's knock them down.
Yeah, to order them to retreat.
We're leaving. Make sure no one gets left behind.
I have to wait for Baker to re-establish contact.
Eagle here. Got eyes on snipers at November 4.
Problem. I have to order them to move up to north.
Eagle here. Roger. Moving to Quebec 1. Baker, we're at Romeo 6.
6 in case. Kilo 6.
Kilo 6.
Hope they don't run into any bridge defenses at least.
Baker, spotted alligator at Oscar 8. Eagle here. Got eyes on air at November 4.
Baker, retreat!
Set to die another day. Falling back.
Why do they keep doing that? Alright. Let's try and order Baker to outfit
Eagle
one
here.
man.
Alpha 1. It is. Baker, we're at Romeo 7.
7 and
Baker,
Go
moving
on.
grid, Romeo 1. Eagle here. We spotted air at November 4.
just keep them there. We're gonna have to get this guy. Armor's gonna be coming in soon, but they'll have to go through the rough roads as not exactly expecting.
Baker, we can see engineers.
Oh,
Sierra 3. Canadian Grenadier Guard attack. Reporting in this call sign, Charlie. We're at Sierra 7. Heavy cavalry, raring to go. Baker, we last saw alligator at Oscar 8.
well, Baker is a bunch of again snipers from the Princess Patricia's, so we can probably take out the engineers before they get close.
Baker, headed to Sierra 3.
Charlie, on the other hand, will have
Charlie
to
here. You're at Sierra 7. Charlie
to
here.
Quebec.
Alright, heading to Great Quebec 1.
take out the engineers before there could come a problem.
Baker, you got eyes on enemy engineers. Let's start picking them off.
If we outrange the engineers, they won't be able to engage us. But the German snipers are going to be a problem.
Dog here, Ponte Corvo. Is ours now. Royal Canadian Engineers here. You can call us Dog. We're at Ponte Corvo. We got shovels and we got mines. Ready for some dirty work.
That's not where we're going, though. Our objective is to hold the other town, which is Soprano. Oh. Oh, apparently we don't have to engage the engineers yet, so let's try to retry this. And considering the kind of enemies we'll be facing, I think we're gonna have to... How shall we say this? Use a bit more elite units on the field. Right, let's get the scouts up again. Hussar scouts. Calgary High Snipers. Highly one. Right, Calgary Highlanders. Armor should be the Grenadier Guards again. Conservative and all. Come on. Are they? I can also use a squad and Fort Garry horse instead. Go. Now let's go to Canadian. Engineers should be Royal Canadians. Infantry Battalion. Royal 22nd. That should be enough for now.
14th Hussar Scout, reporting for duty. We'll be able. We're at Sierra. 5 for your eyes and ears. Calgary Highlander Sniper. Reporting in as call sign Baker. We're at Romeo 7. Elite marksman. Able here. Alpha 2. It is. Baker. We're at Romeo 7. Baker. Moving to grid November 6.
Alright, we got pre-prepped missions here, mission orders here. Let's hope they actually work. Recon job. Begin mission.
Right away, sir. Starting operation.
Why do the missions have to start at 1400 hours? I mean 1600 hours. So late in the day, man.
Baker, got a visual on infantry at Oscar 8. Baker, enemy infantry in our sight. Snipers engaged.
Baker, retreat!
Baker, roger. Falling back.
Don't need to engage them yet.
Baker, got eyes on alligator at Oscar 8. Able here. We spotted snipers at November 4. Baker, falling back. 50 meters from the enemy. Able here. Right at Alpha 2. Able here. Alright, integrate Delta 1. Baker, we're at Quebec 8. We suffered moderate casualties. We can see alligator at Oscar 8.
Damn it, why do I get that? Oh, you know what? Forget about recon work for those guys. They're all gonna go through Cipriano anyway, so let's try to regroup on the north side for everybody. My recon and sniper teams. Suffering casualties per mission is going to be a problem for you in the next ones. They'll have to rest and refit. They won't be available for at least a mission or two. You'll be stuck with some main units. Tanks, or you guys. Guards, engineers, and 3 battalion.
14th Hussar Scout here. You can call us Able. We're at Sierra 5. Recon here. Where do you want us? Able here, Quebec 1. Calgary Highlander Snipers. Reporting for duty. Will be Baker. We're at Romeo 7. Give us clear sidelines at the target, and we'll do the rest. Baker here. Moving to grid Quebec 1.
Get the hell out of Dodge and let the enemies come in through the town instead. Start mission!
HQ, affirmative. Moving into position.
Those poor forward HQ guys are gonna get stuck in the rain. Right, let's hope they don't run into anything.
Baker here. We're at Romeo 5. We're headed to Quebec 1. Able here. Got eyes on snipers at November 4.
the army can just go through here without any infantry support, since they said
Able here. We are here at Quebec 1.
they said the Germans didn't have time to lay down minefields, but I guess the other way would be hidden anti-tank guns. So we'll just capture Cipriano first.
Baker here. We are at Quebec 1. BGMs, engineers, and Sierra 3.
Everybody move to position
Able
outside.
here. Moving to Alpha 1. Baker here. Headed to Bravo 1. Able here. Got a visual on Alligator at November 4.
These snipers are going to be a problem later unless we can engage them early. Oh, the armor's here.
Canadian Grenadier Sergeant Tank. Reporting in as call sign Charlie. We're at Sierra 7. Tank squadron fueled up and ready to move out. Charlie here. Able here. Got eyes on anti-tank guns. We spotted Alligator at November 4.
Oh, that's a problem.
Able here. We're at Kilo 1. We're en route to Alpha 1. We can see anti-tank guns at India 2. Charlie here. Hotel 8. It is. Baker here. We're at Kilo 1. On our way to Bravo 1. Got a visual on keyta and India 2.
Probably take out the guys and anti-tank.
Moving to India. Able here. Headed to India 2. Able here. Baker. Dog here. Planting the flag at Monte Corvo. Royal Canadian Engineers. Here. Charlie here. Enemy infantry sighted. Don't let them surround the column. Able here. At night. Front tower.
Okay, here's a problem.
Dog here. All right. Heading to grid. Quebec 4. Baker here. We're at Kilo 1. We are headed to India 2. We spotted Keyta and India 2. Heading southwest. Able here. We're at Kilo 1. We're en route to India 2. We can see Keyta at India 2. Heading southwest.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie here. Engage at Papa 7. We're firing on Tango at Papa 8. Repression Nation. Able here. We're here at India 2. Baker here. We've arrived at India 2. Dog here. We're here at Quebec 4.
He's gonna be doing a lot of pause and play because we gotta invade and defense line.
One, get in.
Hang on.
Dog here. We're at Quebec. Moving to grid. Papa 1. Charlie here. We're engaged at Papa 7. In combat against at Papa 8. F1 combat. Baker here. We're at India 2. Got a visual on Keyta and Foxtrot 2. Able here. Moving to Foxtrot 2. Baker here. Headed to Foxtrot 2.
Oh, this is getting really, really long.
Dog. Charlie here. An enemy infantry weapon is pulling out. Charlie here. We lost visual on Pico. They were at Oscar 8. Heading west. Able here. We've arrived at Foxtrot 2. Baker here. We're at Foxtrot 2. We spotted Keyta and Delta 2. Able here. All right. Heading to grid Alpha 2. Baker here. Delta 4. It is. Dog here. We're at Quebec 2. We're en route to Papa 1. Charlie here. We're at Papa 7. Charlie here. We lost sight of. We can no longer see. We've lost visuals on. We can no longer see Dingo. They were last able here. We can see engineers at Charlie 4.
Oh, that's not good.
here. We're at Foxtrot 2. On our way to Alpha 2. Got a visual on Eagle at Curly 4. Baker here. We're at Foxtrot 3. We're headed to Delta 4. Got eyes on Keyta and Delta 2. Heading west.
And they're gonna dig in, that's a problem.
Charlie here. We can no longer see. We've lost the visuals on. We've lost the visuals on. Baker here. We've spotted infantry. Echo 6. Enemy. Get to cover! Where are those shells coming from? Charlie here. We can no longer see. We can see engineers at Kilo 7. 39 o'clock, 300 meters. Okay, look.
That is a lot of German infantry.
Dog is preparing to assault location 1. Baker here. We're engaged at Echo 4. We're fighting. And 4. Press and angle. Table here. You're at Charlie. We're on route to Alpha 2. Got a visual on Cheetah at Bravo 2. Heading southwest. Got eyes on Eagle at Charlie 4.
Well, I guess we can take the town then.
Charlie here. We're engaged at Light 8. We're firing upon Gorilla at Lima 8. Everyone is still combat ready. Charlie here. Blast off at Kilo 8. Heading west.
Kilo heading west.
Table here. We're falling back to station. Engaged from an enemy.
Damn it, they can move in some of their scouts.
Charlie here. We're engaged at Light 8. Combat against Gorilla at Lima 8. We're fresh and able.
Oh, artillery. Where did that come from?
Table here. You're at Echo 3. We spotted Eagle at Curly 3. Heading north. Table here. Left saw Cheetah at Alpha 3. Baker here. Stay frosty, everyone. Heading to location 1. Table here. Moving to grid Alpha 3. Mid-50 here. Baker, dog here. We're at Lima 1. On our way to location 1. Table here. We're at Echo 3. We're headed to Alpha 3. We can see Eagle at Charlie 3. Heading north. Table here. Left saw Cheetah at Alpha 3.
This better be worth it.
Table here. Got a visual on. Everyone keep targets the whole spot. Waiting for it. Wait. Charlie here. They're running with their tails between their legs. Charlie here. We got ourselves a tank battle here. We're taking shells at range.
Uh-oh, that's armor.
Here. Location 1 is unsuspended. Baker here. We've arrived at. Table here. Falling back to station.
Damn it. I didn't expect the armor to show up there. That's gonna be a problem. Let's try this again from the top. Maybe we can flank the armor up north instead. We need to take out their anti-tank guns as soon as we are able. It's a condition like this, I'm gonna need that. Since we're not exactly up to speed... Fine. If I still don't get anything done properly here with the veterans, I'm gonna do an grind for XP in an earlier mission, I suppose. Hang on, where's the scouts? Scouts... Hussar Scouts... Calgary Highlander Snipers... Not the Three Rivers guys, they've been rolling at it for a while now. Let's go with the first Hussars. All Canadian and True Reserve 5th again.
14 Hussar Scouts. 2, Romeo 1.
Begin mission.
You heard the signal. Move out.
It gets really annoying when you try to tell them to engage from a different angle, but they go straight in again. Let's hope they don't run into any problems this time. I wish I can deploy my reserves here, but apparently there's a preset location for reserves, so that's not going to be helpful much.
Able here. You're at. We can see snipers at November 4. Able here. You're at Quebec 2. On our way to Quebec 1. Got eyes on engineer at 2. Baker here. We're at Quebec 2. We're headed to Romeo 1. We can see here at Sierra 3. Baker here. Snipers opening fire.
Ignore that.
Able here. You're at Quebec 1. Got a visual on there at Sierra 3. Able here. Headed to currently 1. Baker here. Alright. Heading to grid Alpha 2.
Forget the engineers, let's just keep moving forward.
Able here. Got eyes on alligator at November 4.
Scouts are helpful, but their problem is they don't stand up to engage
You can call us. Charlie. We're
when
at
they have
Sierra
the
7.
capability to do so. Alright, let's roll it through gap
Charlie,
here.
Papa 1. It is.
There's a tank battalion here and several infantry, so let's get the hell out of that.
Able here. Spotted. Anti-tank gun. At we can see alligator at November 4. Able here. You're at dog. They walked right into our ambush. Bring it to them. Royal Canadian Engineers. Baker here. We're engaged, Dad. We're at Monte Corvo. Ready for action. Charlie here. We're at Quebec 2. On our way to Papa 1. Dog here. We're at Monte Corvo. Dog here. Moving to grid Papa 2.
The only thing that engaging are these guys.
Able here. Moving to Alpha 2. Baker here. Headed to Alpha 2.
Those damned anti-tank guns.
Charlie here. We're at Papa 2. We're headed to Papa 1. Charlie. Able here. B1. Engagement.
Really?
Charlie here. Alpha 2. It is. Able here. We can see keyta at India 2. Heading west.
With the engineers.
Dog here. We're at Romeo 4. We're en route to Papa 2.
Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're engaged at India 2. In combat again. Keyta and go 2. Everyone is still combat ready. Able here. You're at Golf 2. On our way to Alpha 2. We can see. Dog here. We're here at Papa 2. Dog here. Moving to grid Alpha 2. Charlie here. We're at Foxtrot 2. We're headed to Alpha 2. Able here. Got eyes on keyta at Delta 2. Heading west. Baker here. We're at Go 2. We're en route to Alpha 2. We spotted keyta and Delta 2. Heading west. Dog here. We're at Papa 2. On our way to Alpha 2. Dog here. Roger. Moving to Alpha 2. Able here. Got eyes on keyta at Delta 2. Heading west.
Are they really anti-tank guns? They look more like howitzers to me.
Able here. Spotted keyta at Bravo 2. Heading west. Baker here. We're engaged at Delta here. Driver. Repeat. Front armor towards enemy. Tank advancing. Charlie. At Delta 2. We're firing upon at Charlie 3. Everyone is combat ready. Able to defeat keyta at Alpha 2. Baker here. We're engaged at Delta 2 and are supported by. And it comes again.
Yeah, listen to that noise.
Lima 1. We're heading to Alpha 2.
There's so much fire going on that they can't hear the radio broadcasts.
Able here, got a visual on keyta at Alpha 2. Alright, heading straight to Alpha. Charlie here, we're engaged at Alpha. Able and Baker. We're fighting Dingo at Charlie 3. Everyone is still combat ready. Able here, got eyes on Dingo at Charlie 3. Heading right for us.
So many pauses might be annoying to veteran players here. Southeast. Charlie, we need you.
Charlie here. Count on us to capture location 1. Baker here. Moving out to location 1. They'll be expecting us. Abel here. We're too busy falling back.
Come on, Abel.
Dog here. We're at India 2. On our way to Alpha 2.
I need you guys to.
Dog here. Affirmative. Let's get these trench lines sorted out. Roger. Heading to location 1. Abel here. We're at Curly 1. We can see keyta at Bravo 4. Heading south. Baker here. We've lost visuals on Dingo. Favor last in and Tom 5. Heading south. Charlie here. We're at Charlie 2. Abel here, got a visual on keyta at Charlie 4, heading southeast.
Ah. Dog doing.
Dog here, we're at Hotel 2. We're headed to location 1. Abel here, we're at Echo 1.
The hell are you guys doing all the way that far? Okay, I'm gonna need you on the hill. Oh no, that's the road.
Abel here, Delta 4. It is.
Gonna need those engineers on the bridge if I'm lucky, but if there's somebody out there. Should probably lay some minefields at least. Try to.
Dog here, Roger. Moving to Echo 7. Baker here, we last saw Dingo and Tom 5, heading south. Charlie here, location 1 is ours now. Charlie here, we're at location 1.
Alright, I guess it's time to. Wait, they can't dig in. Right. Okay, Stas from Baker.
Here, we're at location 1. Got eyes on keyta and Tommy 6. We've spotted Dingo and Tommy 5.
Okay, that's a problem. Engineers are gonna be needing support.
Abel here, we're at Delta 2. We're en route to Delta 4. We can see Dingo at Curly 5. Dog here, headed to Bravo 5.
I guess we're gonna have to dig in on the road instead because they seem to be regrouping at the bridge yet already.
Abel here, Baker here. We're here at location 1.
Guys, 2 can't dig in? Oh, cripes.
Dog here, we're at Foxtrot 3. On our way to. Abel here, got a visual on infantry at Echo 6.
Oh, joy. Engineers? Right. We got an infantry unit, an anti-tank unit, some engineers out there. But,
We can no longer see Dingo. They were last seen at Delta. 5, heading southeast. Dog, we're at Delta. 3, we're en route to Bravo. 5, we can see Keyta at Charlie. 5.
taking so long to get to the engine position.
Able here, Roger. Moving to Bravo. 4.
Move directly.
Able here. Alright, heading to grid. Bravo. 4.
Move directly to
Dog,
position
here,
1.
Bravo. 4. It is.
Wait, what?
Dog, here. Garrisoning. Location 1. Charlie here. Wheel hold. Location 1. For ya. Charlie here. We've arrived at location 1. Baker here. We're at location 1. Got a visual on Keyta and Charlie. 5.
Charlie.
Able here. We're at Charlie 3. On our way to Bravo 4. Got eyes on Keyta at Charlie 5. Dog here. We're at Charlie 3. We're headed to location 1. We spotted Keyta at Charlie 5.
We need to get the engineers here so they can start digging in. Oh, placing some mines once they're done with that.
Able here. We're here at Bravo 4.
You guys can hold the
Able
push
here.
here.
No, hold up. Dog here. We're at location 1.
Alright. In that case,
Dog here. You got it. We'll build the sturdiest fortifications you've ever seen.
Russian, we don't need that. Should probably move these guys somewhere
Able
higher.
here. Moving to Great Delta. We can see Eagle at Echo 6. Able here. Got a visual on Dingo at Echo 6. Able here. Got eyes on Eagle at Echo 6.
Engineers and infantry in the area.
Able here. Spotted Cheetah at Curly 5.
Status and anything.
Dog here. We're at location 1. Still digging. Digging all day long.
Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're at location 1. We can see Cheetah and Charlie 5.
Able, report status.
Able here. We're at Delta 3. Got a visual. Baker here. We've formed the perimeter on the outskirts of town and are firing and approaching infantry. Able here. Spotted Eagle at Echo 6. We can see Cheetah at Curly 5. Able here. Last saw Dingo at Echo 6. Dog here. These fortifications should stop them dead in their tracks.
Dog, can you move to... Dog, move to Bravo 5.
Dog here. Headed to Bravo 5.
Charlie should be able to hit that.
Able here. Got a visual on Cheetah at Curly 5. Baker here. We're engaged at location. In combat again. Cheetah and Charlie 5. Everyone is to combat ready.
Dog, report status.
Dog here. We're at location 1. We're en route to Bravo 5.
These damned engineers are so slow. Oh wait, I'm in pause. What am I doing?
Charlie here. We placed our tanks on the road approaching town and are shelling approaching enemies. We've completely destroyed an enemy company.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Able here. We've completely destroyed an enemy company.
Those anti-tank guns won't be a worry for us anymore. Thank God. Should I move off the board? Thank you. Bravo, what's your status?
Dog, we're at Bravo 5.
Finally, start digging for mines.
Dog, one minefield coming right up. They won't want to walk through this.
Oh, they got engineers, but since they're engineers within their line of sight...
Charlie here. We're at Bravo 5. On our way to Charlie 5.
Oh, wait, what? Oh.
Charlie here. Roger. Garrisoning location 1.
Garrisoning location 1 is 45.
Location 1.
Right.
Baker here. We're at location 1. Dog here. We're at Bravo 5. Still laying surprises for Jerry.
Gotta set up more minefields around the forward arc so that they don't have a chance to flank us, hopefully. I don't think they're gonna be stupid enough to climb through the mountains and try and engage us from the north. But it helps to be prepared, I suppose. Wish I had another engineer. There's no way in hell I can call in the reserves, I think. Come on, dog. What's taking you so long to dig in those mines?
Able here. Spotted Eagle at Echo 6. Able here. Last saw Dingo at Dog here.
Oh, funny.
Right, we're done mining the area. We've marked the minefield on the map. Our units know the safe path through the minefield, but the enemy doesn't.
Alright, now let's move you up to Charlie 4.
Charlie 4, it is. Able here. We completely destroyed an enemy company.
Wipe them out. Start digging elsewhere. Come on, Doug. They're gonna probably start retreating around 10 minutes.
Arrived at Charlie 4.
Right. How do the vocal commands work? Doug! Doug! Deploy minefields.
Dog here. All right, engineers. Run out and lay down some mines. This'll take a bit of time.
Abel will keep an eye out here as well, just in case some of these guys up in Alligator and Bear will try to flank us from the mountainside. I don't think about it, it's multiple crates large, so I should be able to set up defensive mine here instead. I want to fast forward though, I might skip up on some really early movements.
Able here. Last saw Alligator at November 4. Dog here. We last saw Bear at Sierra 3.
Bingo still in this area.
Last saw Dingo at Echo 6. Dog here.
Oh,
All
finally.
right, we're done mining the area. We've marked the minefield on the map. Our units know the safe path through the minefield, but the enemy doesn't. Roger. Moving to Bravo 2.
Lay down more mines over there. Would be a really bad idea to keep them in a kill zone like that. Ten minutes, 45 seconds remaining. They'll start pulling back soon. Just 1 point for every 50 casualties, but I don't even know how many they got left up there, so. Dog, report location.
Dog here. We're at Charlie 3. We're headed to Bravo 2.
Get these guys.
Dog here. We're here at Bravo 2.
Dog, deploy minefields.
Dog here. One minefield coming right up. They won't want to walk through this.
Charlie doesn't have anything.
Charlie here. We're at location 1.
But Baker.
Baker here. We're at location 1.
I don't know how many units I've lost in the engagements yet, so. Are you still not moving? I don't like this.
Able here. We can see Eagle at Echo 6. Able here. Last saw Dingo at Echo 6.
Plus, which means they might have moved elsewhere. Sign. And I can't order my scouts to dig in since they're dead. At least they're aggressive enough. And they don't really get...
Alright, we're done mining the area. We've marked the minefield on the map. Our units know the safe paths through the minefield, but the enemy doesn't.
Thanks for the extra morale boost. That keeps them alive for a bit longer. Should probably set up another dig out. Should I order them in and secure the other side?
We'll hold location 1 for ya.
Doesn't stack anyway, but now
Dog, we've arrived at location 1.
oh, they're out of mines. Only carry 3 sets of mines, so I guess that should be enough. Where are they? They're not moving. Should I just say the sniper's out or something? Baker, move to Charlie 6. Baker, move to Charlie 6.
Baker here, alright. Heading to grid Charlie 6.
Oh wait. Baker, move to Bravo 6.
Got a visual on Bravo 6. You're here at Bravo 6. Cable here, got eyes on Eagle at Echo 6. Baker here, we last saw Dingo and Echo 6.
Baker, move to Charlie 6.
Baker here, we spotted Dingo and Echo 6. There, enemies in the open. Take him down.
Let's whip him down and hope we can do something about him.
Baker here, we're engaged at Charlie 6. We're fighting Eagle and Echo 6 and Dingo and Delta 7. We're fresh and able.
Oh shoot. Baker, retreat!
Baker here, we're leaving. Make sure no one gets left behind.
Engineers are a bit more stronger than me at close range, so we gotta keep them out of their line of sight first.
Baker here, we're at location 1. We've taken minor casualties.
Yeah, hold their position right there. Bingo disappeared.
Cable here,
Oh,
Dingo at Charlie 6.
they're chasing us. Oh no! Gonna try and clear up those mines, are they? Okay.
Cable here, got a visual on Dingo at Charlie 6.
Okay, maybe not. Baker, move to Bravo 5.
Baker here, alright. Heading to grid Bravo 5. Baker here, don't let them into the town. Keep that perimeter intact. Cable here, got eyes on Dingo at Charlie 6. Cable here, last saw Alligator at November 4.
And there's 6 minutes and they're still not moving. I don't like this. I wonder if it counts as enemy casualties if they don't start moving in. And again, anything can happen in the next 5 minutes, so... Maybe I should lay more mines. Dog, move to Echo 2. Dog, move to Echo 2. Dog, move to Delta 2.
Dog here, moving to grid Delta 2.
Baker, report status.
Baker here, we're engaged at Bravo 4. We're firing upon Dingo and Charlie 6. Everyone to combat ready.
What is it? Do they have casualties, or do they have or they're still combat ready at 100%? Alright, Baker, Doug's here.
We've arrived at Delta 2.
Dog, dig in for mines. Dog, lay minefield. Dog, deploy minefields. Oh wait, I forgot, they don't have mines anymore. Dog, move to location 1.
Dog here, Roger. Heading to location 1.
Let's hope it's thick enough for this operation. Here's my... Remember kids, don't smoke. It can kill you. This is just a game though. And also, drink responsibly.
Dog here, we're here at location 1.
Don't drink while you're in combat. Everybody, I think.
HQ here, the enemy is desperate.
Oh, here they come.
All units back. Don't let them escape.
5 minutes in?
Charlie here, we're at location 1.
But they need to reach the town, right?
Charlie here, we're at location 1. Baker here, enemy engineers eliminated.
Oh, there's
Baker
Eagle.
here, weapons free. But try not to reveal our position.
Baker, move to location 1.
Baker here, your force to stay disengaged from an enemy.
He knows that action.
Cable here, got a visual on Eagle at Charlie 6. Baker here, at Charlie 6.
Oh, we got tanks.
Cable here, got engineer at Charlie 6. Heading northwest. Baker here, we're at Alpha 3.
Baker, move to location 1.
Baker here, we'll hold location 1. Charlie here, we're engaged at location 1. In combat against Eagle at Charlie 6 and Falcon at Charlie 6 and Gorilla at Charlie 6. We're fresh and able. Able here, we're at Delta 3. We can see Sun infantry at Charlie 6. Heading, we can see Alligator at Charlie 6. Heading northwest.
Alligator at Charlie 6, heading northwest. It's everybody. We got a whole tank battalion here.
Baker here, we're at location 1. We've spotted Gorilla and Charlie here. We're engaged at location 1. We're fighting Hyena at Charlie 6 and Eagle at Charlie. Dog here, we're at location 1.
Let's hope those guys are able to hold on for a couple more minutes. That's a lot of vehicles and infantry.
Dog here, we're at location 1.
They're all dug in. Baker, report status.
Baker here, we're at location 1. We've spotted HQ here. Time's almost up. Remember your objectives.
Yup.
Cable here, Beacon Charlie here. Enemy engineers eliminated.
Oof. Those guys are out.
Charlie here. Enemy engineers eliminated. Cable here, got a visual on Hyena at Charlie 6. Cable here, got eyes on Alligator at Charlie 6. Heading northwest.
Last minute. Come on, boys.
Baker here. Enemy Panthers are shouting our positions into town. Enemy Alligator at Bravo 6. Heading northwest. It's firing on us from outside our range. We can either charge or fall back.
Dog, move to Bravo 4.
Dog here, Roger. Moving to Bravo 4. Cable here, got eyes on Bear at Charlie 6. Heading northwest.
Here. Oh, they're moving really slowly. They're all in that box over there. And they breached the mines.
Dog here, we're here at Bravo 4.
Dog, report status.
Dog here, we're engaged at Bravo 4. Listed by Baker and Charlie. Alligator at Bravo 6. Enemy. Cable here, that's the last we'll see of those enemy infantry. There, at Charlie. Baker here, no longer see Bravo 6, heading southwest. Able here, spotted bear at Bravo 5.
The engineers have cleared that part.
At Charlie 6. Able here, got a visual on. Falcon at Charlie 6.
Come on, boys, just a minute. Just a minute.
Able here, got eyes on bear at Bravo 5.
Dog, report status.
Baker here. Where that come from? Baker here. Be alongside off here. Baker left base and Bravo 6. Heading southwest. Able here. You can see Falcon at Charlie 6. Able here. Got a visual on. Hyena at Charlie 6.
Well, they cleared the minefield, but it's a bit too little too late for them. 30 seconds, come on, lads. Bring the baker home.
Able here, you're at Delta 3. Got eyes on Falcon at Charlie 6. We spotted Hyena at Charlie 6. Baker here, you can see Navigator and Alpha 6.
Well, they're gonna attack from another angle, huh?
Baker here, we left Snow here and Bravo 6 heading southwest.
24 seconds.
Baker here, enemy snipers eliminated. Good riddance.
That's one unit snipers down.
Drop here. Wiped out an entire enemy.
That's these guys.
Got a
Oh,
visual
wait.
on Hyena. Baker here, we left Snow here and Bravo. Able here, we knocked out an entire Panther squad.
Oh, those tanks are gone. You got just a bunch of engineers and a...
Charlie here, I don't see any of them coming. I think those enemy infantry are toast. Able here, that's the last we'll see of those enemy infantry.
Hyena's out of action. It's just a bunch of engineers.
Here, we left Snow here and Bravo 6 heading southwest.
Yeah, let's keep those engineers away. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Able
Good
here,
work.
that's right, run! The war won't last much longer with battles like that. HQ, your time is up and the operation is over. All units sign up.
Let's go.
Able,
Okay.
not a light beating. Nothing too serious.
Oh, that's good.
Baker here. We took some losses and we'll need some time to rest.
Sure, that's a problem.
Charlie here. Those damn replacements keep getting killed. Dog here. That was a tough battle, but we're still combat ready.
Oh, that's good to hear from the veteran engineers. Okay, we took in one armored division, one anti-tank battery, one sniper team, 2 sets of engineers, and 2 infantry divisions. Wait, no, 2 infantry battalions? I don't actually remember if they're at battalion strength or smaller. Okay, 2 engineers. No, make it 3 actually. I think there's a 3rd engineer company down here. Yep. Engineers, a sniper team, armored unit, anti-tank guns, infantry, and a sniper team. Let's see if it works. Yes. Ooh, good estimates. We got them all. That was a major victory. We only lost one guy. We got one guy missing, and 5 of them were wounded. Let's go. Max vets, but they're exhausted, so we can't use them in the next mission. These lucky bastards didn't even get to do anything. See here. Scouts didn't engage much, even though they inflicted some pretty decent damage. So they don't have any losses. The Calgary Highlander snipers also did a decent amount of damage without losing anybody. Why were the first Hussars complaining about placements when they didn't even suffer anything? It's only the Royal Canadian Engineers that took most of the beatings. 1 killed, 1 missing, and 5 wounded. That's not bad, to be honest. Oh Only Papa Bear on the German side. No, yeah, Papa Bear on the German side were the only guys that survived. Hyena and Eagle were knocked out. Alligator wiped out as well. Today was a bad day to be a German. Alright, time for a campaign cross, but who deserves the medal for this one? I mean, everybody pulling their weight. I think the Royal Canadians should deserve this, since it's their mines that did most of the heavy lifting for our units. Let's go. Let's go. Commendation. Let's see the replay again. Oh, so that's where we were.
Princess Patricia, Light Infantry, Scout, reporting in as call sign. Eagle, we're at Sierra. 5, let's show them what we're made of.
We got engineers here in the north, a sniper unit in the forest. There's rifles, anti-tank. There's the other engineer unit. Their engineer units are really badly scattered here. At any other time, the engineers here near Soprano would have captured the area and would have dug in. Guess we just got lucky. So their anti-tank units were... Well, the benefit here is that we're engaging under-strength units, I suppose. Even still, though... But we all know where the enemies are, so... Just fast forward this and... yeah, things go from here. Minefield grids are below. What? I just heard somebody scream in the distance. Do you notice that there are a couple of small gaps that the enemy infantry could have exploited on the sides if they were a bit more persistent with their maneuvering? Alright, last 5 minutes. Three, 2. Bear was the last one to roll in. God, that many people getting concentrated in a small kill zone like that, that's gotta hurt. Pretty lucky we didn't have artillery support.
The operation's nearly over.
Let's continue on. See the, I actually haven't seen these data pits here, so let's take a look at everything. After some initial confusion, the 5th Canadian Armored was tasked with exploiting the penetration of the Hitler line. This is pretty close to the Gustav line for me. Divided into 2 battle groups, stiff resistance was met with the Canadians losing 17 tanks and the 20. 11 tanks and 9 self-propelled guns. Thrust was slower than desired and did not achieve the rapid breakthrough. And then the traffic congestion, plus fuel shortages, and the bridge collapse further delayed the advance until the 28th of May. Ooh. That's tomorrow. Or was it the May? No, it's the day after tomorrow, actually. Shortly after, the Hitler line fell, the pressure on the Anzio beachhead relieved, and the Americans went to Rome on the 4th. Personal message for the Army Commander. Can I read this? To all ranks, 1 Canadian Corps. Leaving the 8th Army, I want to thank you all for your splendid contribution to success of the 8th in the Sicilian and Italian campaign. As a corps, you had, after a long period of training, your first battle experience with the 8th. Sicilian battles and those ensuing, you showed a magnificent fighting spirit, skill, determination, and endurance. These qualities produced successes they deserved. The Battle of the Sicilian campaign and the landing in Italy and the advance to Campobasso, the crossing of the Moro and the capture of the Orlona or Ortona, I can't read. The advance up the Lidi Valley and the breaking of the Hitler line and the breaking of the Gothic line and the capture of San Fortunato and finally capture of Ravenna and the advance for the Senio. All these you have maintained and enhanced great reputation in the Canadian establishment for Vimy and on at the time when we can look forward to confidence in early and final victory over the Germans. Your contribution has standing, and whatever the future may bring, I am confident our progress will be as distinguished as it has always been and will serve being 8th. I shall miss you so much. General Officer Commanding R.I. McCreary? Is that I or is that L? I don't remember. National War Services. Important read very instructions for conscripts. Stuff you have to keep in mind when you're first conscripted drafted into Canadian Army preparation for overseas deployment. 78th Division boys approach running up makeshift bridge on the Hitler line on the south of Rome. Mail duty, that's gonna be annoying. In December 1940. Another set of instructions for conscripts. Medical exam. This is prep stuff. This is a propaganda poster talking about the supposed United Nations against the Axis that a couple of these countries have already. Now, these are a list of countries that have fallen into German control by the time this came out. Also showing some pretty old and outdated hardware here. So Rolls-Royce armored car. This is one of the earlier Hurricanes, maybe? This is one of the earlier British light tanks. Right, let's see the film. In the sheaves. Canadian Army Newsreel number 6. Alright, fit in the projector, let's watch.
Canadian soldiers never die, even when umpires officially kill them on exercises. They just fade away to a farm and help the land army with threshing and baling. Here, when the rest of the army was sweating over Spartan, casualties were coming to life to add to the Canadian Army's good reputation for lending a practiced hand on the farm. We have been able to help with the harvest over here. We've been officially commended for it. And what with one thing and another, we like it.
Well, talk about playing the easy job as Red 4 casualties during training exercises. Relatively speaking, if you were in recruiting early parts of 1942, you'd probably prefer messing about with the hay instead of getting shouted at by your drill instructor, I suppose. Ooh, nice. That's the Italian campaign completed. Let's look if there's any other points I can. Ooh, yeah. 14th Hussars get one more. That's the last point. 2 points actually. We have. Yeah, they can use much of the covers for given the Rangers. And probably counter snipers. So putting them on the roads would expose them to some heavier fire. Fortunately, since they're exhausted, we can't actually next mission, so we're gonna have to let them rest for a bit. Calgary Highlander snipers. Let's see, assault course for increased damage. Track and field 2 for increased move. Rangers for improved ability when in swamps and forests, or urban snipers when fighting in a town. Well, the movement speed is currently at 5 kilometers an hour. At a 40% reduction in movement speed because of their leader's personality. Either we play defensive in towns or just do a general damage bonus by the assault course. I'll take the assault course. We're already really slow. I don't think this is gonna help. No, not this one either. Probably increase the cover defense and no, don't do it. Damage at 38%. Yeah, they already have a pretty good damage bonus because of the hang on, damage. Just canceling each other out then. Oh well. They're snipers anyway, so instead of putting them on the back, and here's the Royal Canadian Engineers who already have 2 decorations. I didn't know that. Let's see. Binoculars, distance shooting, smaller mines. I don't think this has a penalty for how do you call it? Damage? That could be helpful, I suppose. That. Mine blows. Yeah, I suppose that could help. Site defense assault engineers. Let's consider that later, but for now, that should be a good looking over. Let's see, since the Italian campaign is complete, I'll just have to. That's them completed. Is next. What the hell was that? Oh, dang it. Before we forge on ahead, I'd like to see the casualty reports. 582 killed, 156 missing. Pretty lucky that the Melfa pursuit was just a small-time operation, so we didn't really have that many casualties. Surprisingly, 2% of all deployed units were listed as casualties. Compare that to the Hitler Line mission, where we sent in 1,205 men, suffered a total of 265, spread around 142 killed, 18 missing, and 102. I'm just glad they're not requiring us to read casualty reports, because I'd really hate that. Well, as much as I'd like to continue, I think this is a good time to call it in and tuck it up for the day. I would like to thank you all for being here today. It was a surprisingly fruitful radio general campaign stream, even though we only managed to finish one campaign mission, I mean. This will be a bit helpful if I try to do another video journal stream in the future, at least. It's going to be the harder one since it's a Normandy campaign, so we're expecting tougher missions ahead. As always, if you've got any complaints or suggestions about the stuff I stream on Twitch, you can always drop me a line on Twitter or my Pixiv. If you wish to see some of the older streams, they're always available on my mirror channel, linked in my profile. If you have friends who might be interested in the types of streams I make, you can always share my channel to them, twitch.tv/lurkerwork. That said, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do any streams tomorrow, since it's going to be midday and it's a bit busier sometimes. If I would try to be a bit earlier, but don't expect much since there's going to be a lot of stuff to work on. In that case, if possible, I might not be able to stream at all, so. At least there's a lot of other people currently streaming a lot of better material to look forward to for everybody else. For now, Look at Work is RTV. I'll try to see y'all tomorrow. Another gaming stream, since I'm still a bit panicky about drawing. Anyway, I hope you can join me for next time. See y'all when I'll see y'all. Good night, everybody.